Ой, не спасибо, не спасибо, не спасибо, не спасибо. Ну это и есть то самое. Ну вот наборол свою. Да, да, ну вот это нормально. Высшее обеспечение хозяйства. Высшее. Is it okay, hopefully? Thank you. Thank you. Дальше. Вряд, вряд. Что делать-то, блин? Да нет, ну наоборот, вот это он грустно. Троллишь, наоборот, да. А, идеально. Наоборот, наоборот. Вообще я голоден, честно говоря. Да. Ну вот это есть, да. Типа того, да. Ну это есть, да. Ну я понял.
Hello, Corey here from the Box Scholar channel. Thank you for joining me today. I'd like to thank everyone for viewing my videos, especially my faithful subscribers on YouTube, If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be doing this. So I really thank you for your support. This video is a very interesting one. It's a tutorial on a technical exercise often called the Tausig exercise, named after
So before we start to play the scale, we really need familiarity with the key signature, knowing what the scale looks like on the keyboard, how it feels under the hand. Because any mental stress about what note is coming next is going to lead to physical tension as well. Now, when I introduce a faster scale, what I like to think about is that it's not individual fingers playing more quickly. And what I mean by that, we don't think about each finger having to move more quickly and playing in this way. Because you see, each finger is looking quite tense. So I use a technique that I call the Mexican wave. Now, I'm not a football fan, but those of you who have been to football matches will know that sometimes what the fans do is one after the other, they put their hands down in a wave, and so across the stadium you get this sense of a wave of all their hands go down one after the other. And so we use this idea with our fingers. So before I want to play 5 fingers really quickly, what I'm going to do is lift all the fingers and then just let them all trickle down one after the other. It's like drumming on the table. We can all do that really quickly. So if we can drum on the table really quickly, it means we can also play a scale quickly. So if I want to play 5 fingers in a scale, I'll just do this. And I might combine it also with a little bit of a parachute. And you see how easy it is to play fast. The fingers don't have to work any more strongly, any more quickly than they would have done in any other way. So when we're playing a scale a little bit more quickly, it's not really our fingers that have to move more quickly, it's our arm that moves a little bit more quickly. So I have this exercise which I just call the flowing arm exercise, and we start quite slowly. Happening there, each time I added a note, my arm had to move 1 note further, and so my arm started to flow a little bit more quickly. So when you're teaching faster scales, encourage the arm to move more quickly, not the fingers. So the arms take each finger into position. Think in hand position so you can move quickly up the keyboard. And it will really help if you parachute down into the first note of each group, because that will keep the wrist nice and soft. And then you'll start to feel a really beautiful, flowing, natural, rounded movement develop in the arm. When we play a scale at a fairly steady tempo, we play it fully legato. So we join all the notes together in this way. And really make that legato. Now, when I'm playing a little bit faster, I may not have time to do that. So what you can do instead is just slide off the notes. Now, for instance, say I'm doing that B flat scale coming down. Instead of really doing a full legato here, what I will do is slide off the 3rd finger. Now you see when I do it fast, because it's fast, The listener doesn't notice any gaps between the notes, but it means that you can keep a really smooth flowing motion. And going the opposite way, what you'll find you'll do is just slide off the thumb a little bit early. Now, it's very important not to jump off the note, so you don't do this. You just think of releasing the note just a tiny bit earlier. And because it's fast, nobody will notice the slight gap between the notes.
Очень горячий. Очень горячий. Осторожно. Ребенок.
Hello and thank you for watching. This video is a tutorial and a playthrough for Boris Berlin's Essential Daily Exercises, set number 6. This is my favorite piano technique book And you see the cover here. It looks like this. Baby, Jennifer Bowman. No one better take this. At any rate, this is set number 6. And we are going to start with a tutorial. And the first exercise is called for the independence of fingers. We've been gradually building this bridge here and stretching out to maintain the shape and also maintain a firm portion of the hand right here on the first knuckle, not letting that cave and get flat. So we're going to be quite spread out for this one. Thumb here on C and the top of the hand up here on B. So if your hands are not, if you cannot reach an octave, you can just do this at whatever you can reach, whatever the largest interval you can reach between your thumb and pinky is what you should do. If you can reach an octave, this is a great, great practice. So we're going to lock in the thumb, and the fingers on the top are fingers 4 and 3. The goal is to try to maintain a nice bridge here, not letting that cave under, but rather keep it firm and keeping the fingers firm here as you group them in groups of 4. See where those accents are. We're going to try to group those together. So 4, 3, 4 notes. Then feel it down. Then moving up. See how my wrist is moving up just a little bit? Trying to get more notes in one physical gesture. Here's exercise number. Try to group those together. So 4, 3, 4 notes. Then feel it down. Then moving up. See how my wrist is moving up just a little bit? Trying to get more notes in one physical gesture of the arm. Here's exercise number 1 for the side views. We're going to get set, stand up. Notice the nice bridge shape and the nice firm first knuckle. Here is exercise 2 for relaxation. You want to focus on the 4th finger pad for this exercise. So we're going to focus on rolling up the pad of the finger. And it is finger number 2, starting on C. Gentle lift of the wrist as you roll up. Your crescendo towards the top. And notice I'm doing just one motion. I'm not pressing off later. It's one fluid motion. So roll off, move. Roll off, move. And when you move, you're resetting your wrist underneath so it can pull through your key. Here's exercise 2, side view. Not too low when they're coming underneath. Nice. With the wrist. Here is exercise 3 for stretching. This one I want you to take very slowly because we're working on this portion of the hand right here, and I just want to be really gentle with that. Also, notice the angle of my hand. I'm not setting up straight like this. I'm setting up at an angle to make this a little bit easier as we navigate through these flat keys. So this will be played more on the tip portion of the finger pad. The previous exercise was the whole first joint, if you will. Now we're going to just do the tops. And we're going to start with fingers 3 and 4. We're going to move between those 2 fingers. Hand at an angle. Here we go. So it's down on the triplet. Down, touch, touch, down, touch, touch, down, touch, touch. Careful right here not to go too fast. Now the angle is going to change as the 3rd finger goes to the right. So we started like this, and the hand's going to gradually shift that way. So let's do that one more time. Down, touch, touch, down, touch, touch, reach up. Careful on this one. That's kind of a large interval. And then the hand gently shifts towards the right.
Going to leave.
Now here is exercise number 4. This one is a little bit confusing if you're just looking at it on the music notes here on page 14. So what you're going to do, what we're doing in this exercise is we're locking in this portion of the scale when we have 2, 3 in a C major scale and the thumb passes under to F, so D, E, F. That's the portion of the scale we're working on. And so what we're trying to do is kind of lock in the hand shape. You see how it's kind of a little half circle here? So we're going to do that with fingers 3 and 2, and then the thumb is kind of out here. And the half circle. We have D and E here, and then the thumb there. So we're locking in that frozen position right there. So we're going to start with 2 and 3. See how the D is a little bit further out, this is a little closer to the black, and then this is underneath. Try to relax the rest of your hand, and we'll do that one more time. Now, the next fingering is 1 and 2. So 2 is going to stay there on the D, 1 is going to stay there on the F, and then we're going to lock in this middle part. It can be confusing when you first look at the music here. And then finally, our final fingering is 3 stays there on the E, 1 stays there on the F, and then we're locking in finger 2. All trying to keep the bridge nice and firm, nice hand shape. We'll do that one more time. And repeat. Then 1 and 2. Watching your hand once you know what you're doing. And then folding 1 and 3. Here's exercise 4, side view. Just want you to see the locking in. 1 and 2. Same position. 1, 3. Exercise 5 for octaves. In the previous exercise, we worked on the thumb being the solo note. Now we're going to have the pinky be the solo note. So we'll alternate between octave and pinky. And so what I want you to think about as you're going through this exercise is letting the octave be the one that's stretched out, and then when you have just the pinky, let your hand relax and squeeze in a little bit. So we've got a stretch, then a relax, then a stretch, then a relax. Stretch, relax, stretch, relax. And then back down. Stretch, relax, stretch, relax. Here is exercise 6 for trills. It's kind of hard to see the fingering for this, but it's actually finger 2 and 4. So finger 3 is going to be left out of this exercise. So we're going to get used to just having that finger 3 be relaxed while we're working fingers 2 and 4, staying close to the keys. So 2 and 4 are naturally more the same length. So we don't have to angle our hand as much as we would have to for 2 and 3. So it's a little bit straighter. And we are going to start with a down, up, up kind of motion with the wrist. So down, up, up, gentle. 3 is just hanging out there on the black keys. Then the groups of 4 notes, it's going to be a drop, push off, or a drop, lift. But you want to give that lift some energy. Same thing, black keys. Now this time we do have to turn at an angle because we don't want to get our second finger way in there. So 2 is going to be here, 4 is going to be here. Here is exercise 7 for the repeated notes. I find it most helpful to think of this one as kind of like a little zigzag, like this. So finger 2 is going to play on the top part of it, and the 1 is on the bottom. And by the way, the numbers for this are 2, 1 for the first measure, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then 3, 2. So on the way up, you're going to kind of have a bigger zigzag because there's a lot of space between fingers 1 and 2. On the way down, not so much. So they're almost occupying the same spot. If you let your second finger be down here and your third finger be up here, then I think you'll be successful. So let's do that slowly. And by the way, for this, here is exercise 6 for trills. It's kind of hard to see the fingering for this, but it's actually finger 2 and 4. So finger 3 is going to be left out of this exercise. So we're going to get used to just having that finger 3 be relaxed while we're working. Fingers 2 and 4, staying close to the keys. So 2 and 4 are naturally more the same length. So we don't have to angle our hand as much as we would have to for 2 and 3. So it's a little bit straighter. And we are going to start with a down, up, up kind of motion with the wrist. So down, up, gentle. 3 is just hanging out there on the black keys. Then the groups of 4 notes, it's going to be drop, push off, or drop, lift. But you want to give that lift some energy. Same thing, black keys. Now this time we do have to turn at an angle because we don't want to get our second finger way in there. So 2 is going to be here, 4 is going to be here. Here is exercise 7 for the repeated notes. I find it most helpful to think of this one as kind of like a little zigzag, like this. So finger 2 is going to play on the top part of it, and the 1 is on the bottom. And by the way, the numbers for this are 2, 1 for the first measure, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then 3, 2. So on the way up, you're going to kind of have a bigger zigzag because there's a lot of space between fingers 1 and 2. On the way down, not so much. So they're almost occupying the same spot. If you let your second finger be down here and your third finger be up here, then I think you'll be successful. So let's do that slowly. And by the way, for this, the wrist is not low on this one, it's a little bit higher. See the thumb? So the second finger is playing higher, the thumb is slightly lower, and on the way down, they're occupying a space that's like this. One more time, so the wrist is up, touch, and move the second finger. Back down. Here is exercise number 8 for double thirds, and in this exercise, this is as all of them have been. We're finding our position, rolling up, and then we're going to keep 5 and 3 there, and use your brain power to will fingers 4, 2 to come down at the same time. Save 1 for the first one. Really listening to see, can you get those notes to sound exactly together? Part 2, we're going to have 5, 3 be a unit, and 4, 2 is a unit. Think down, roll up. It's really handy to practice this exercise in different positions so you feel how it changes when we're navigating the black keys. Here is exercise 9 for the triads. Great exercise for keyboard geography, just finding that next group of triads as you go up the piano. Slowly, the left hand will roll up, right hand up, left hand over, right hand under, and then on the way down, right hand will go over, and the left hand will go under. Rolling up for the full pad of the hand, one more time, over. I also, when I'm doing these triads, I also will just do it in minor. The feel in the minor. And then the second portion is a roll through of those chords, and I like to think that my wrists are just making little circles. So you can do the circle the other way for practice. Here is exercise number 10 for the 5 fingers. So we get hands set in a nice quasi half moon shape. I know in the half moon the 2 and 3 are kind of close together. Just imagine 3 is the highest point. And what we're going to do is a wrist dip for the first part. So hands are on the tips and the wrist is going to roll through. And the second portion you can either go up, like with your wrist going like that, or you can roll it back down. So it's a or rolling up and then pressing this. Couple different ways you can do that. So for the second portion, holding the thumb down, don't overlap any of the top notes.